Hello, this is Rick Saltarelli with Salty Breeze Cruise Planners with this week's segment of Beyond Your Front Door. And today I have with me a guest from Brendan Vacations. So please welcome Kelly Stahl. How are you today, Kelly?
I'm doing great. How are you, Rick?
I am doing absolutely awesome. And you work for a company that has several brands. And today we are going to talk about Brendan Vacations. Now, that may be a company that not everybody's heard of, but they certainly have heard of all the places that you visit, haven't they?
Definitely, Rick. Ireland and Scotland is all that we do at Brendan Vacations. So anything in a kilt, as we like to say, that is our specialty.
Well, my youngest daughter, she likes men in kilts, so she would be very happy to go visit. And I know she's
Will
been to
not be
Scotland, but she has
disappointed.
not been to Ireland.
Yes, it's definitely a place that you need to visit. It's one of the friendliest countries in the world. I absolutely love Ireland. I've been there twice and I could just go again and again year after year. There's just something so special and friendly and welcoming about Ireland.
Yeah, and I can't argue with you. We were there once for, I think, a 12-day visit. Just an amazing place to go visit. Anybody that has not been to either Scotland or Ireland definitely have to put it on their bucket list.
Definitely. Yeah. And if you've never been to Europe before, it's a great place to start. Ireland was my first trip ever to Europe. And I chose it because it was an English speaking country and I heard how friendly the people were. And I was just so happy with my experience there. It was just such an amazing trip.
I'm glad you said that because we share that with people that are looking to go to Europe for the very first time. And we tell them for that first trip, pick an English speaking country.
Yeah.
Though English is spoken widely everywhere, you will get into pockets of countries and pockets of cities where it is not spoken, but certainly in Scotland, England, and Ireland, um, English is spoken everywhere. So that's a good place. And also, the food is very much what people are used to, even here. So you're not looking at food that you may wonder what it is. Everything is going to feel very normal to you.
Yes, 100%. And I'm glad you brought up the food because a lot of times people think or they've heard that the food in Ireland is all meat and potatoes. And while they definitely have plenty of that, Ireland has actually turned into this really immersive culinary destination. And they have so many different types of cuisines to offer. For example, when I went to Galway, right along the west coast of Ireland, it's this little it almost gives you a little old fishing village kind of vibe when you're there, but the seafood in Galway was absolutely amazing. That was my favorite meal of the entire trip. But there's just so much to experience when it comes to food beyond the meat and potatoes of Ireland.
Correct. And so, because your company just specializes in those two countries, I like to just call them destination experts. And there's a real good reason to use a destination expert when you're going to certain countries. So, what is your take on that?
Absolutely. I mean, Ireland and Scotland is all that we do. So we know the best way. Our Celtic experts at Brendan Vacations are specialized exclusively in Ireland and Scotland. They're trained to in our consultative selling so that they can offer a trip that meets all of the guests' needs, however they like to travel, whatever experiences they're after. We have over 700 optional experiences to choose from in Ireland and Scotland when it comes to a customized vacation. So we definitely have tons of options when it comes to that.
And one of the things that that leads to is those kind of hidden things that people wouldn't find on their own, like a great place to go and eat. But it also has a lot to do with the places where you're going to stay as well, doesn't it?
100%. We have so many different types of accommodations. When you are thinking about going to Ireland and Scotland, there are so many different types of places you could stay. Some people want to stay at something a little more quaint, like a bed and breakfast or a manor. Some people might want to spoil themselves to staying in a castle for a night or two, or perhaps you're looking for something more modern, like a 4 or 5 star hotel. We have it all when it comes to Ireland and Scotland. Anything from 3 star to 5 star hotels, castles, bed and breakfast, manors, really anything, any way you could imagine staying in Ireland, we have got you covered.
Sure. And obviously, the fact that you only do Ireland and Scotland is a big differentiator. But are there any other things that you could share with us that would differentiate you from some of the other companies that sell into this market?
Absolutely. I think that there's definitely something to be said about our Dublin team. Our Dublin team is on the ground in the heart of it all, taking you personally. Our team knows just about everybody. So when we translate that into our guests' experience, our guests are really treated like family, which is just such an amazing experience for them to really get to feel like they're part of the family. Taking you personally through the Celtic Isles. We also offer travel for everyone, as we like to say. So we have so many different travel styles depending on how you like to travel, no matter what type of traveler you are. We've got something for everybody.
I'm glad you mentioned the travel styles because not every trip is the same. So maybe you could share with us what some of those different styles are. We've talked about the different accommodations, but actually the traveling around the country is not all the same. Maybe share some of those differences with us.
Yeah, definitely. So, of course, we have your guided vacations, which will include your travel director, sightseeing, accommodations, local, authentic experiences. Then we have trips for independent travelers as well. So Ireland and Scotland are such beautiful countries to experience and explore. If you'd like to have a trip completely customized to how you like to travel, we can do that. So whether you'd like to travel on your own with one of our self-drive trips, we can include your car rental as well as any level of accommodations and sightseeing that you want. Or if you'd like to spoil yourself with our private chauffeurs, they act as your travel director as well. The private chauffeur trips are absolutely an amazing experience for our guests because it truly is so tailored to everything they want to do. That driver is exclusively yours for a week or however long your vacation is. So if at any point you decide, you'd like to divert from your itinerary that you planned and maybe you want to stop off somewhere else, you can absolutely do that. And they are so amazing at knowing all of the local tips and tricks and the local people as well. It's really just such an experience to get to be driven around by a local character. And then one of my favorite travel styles that I think that not everyone necessarily thinks of this option first when they're planning a trip to Ireland is our locally hosted rail. So I know that oftentimes when people plan trips to Europe, they think about taking trains from city to city. And Ireland actually has a really great rail system. So, our locally hosted rail trips are a really great option for those independent travelers that are comfortable using public train transportation. And we also have a local host in each city for them. So, when they arrive in the city, they will meet with their local host at their hotel and they will sit down with them, have a coffee, talk about what their interests are, what they'd like to do and see in the city. The local host can help make recommendations for them, get them set up on any sightseeing or tours that they want to plan, any restaurant recommendations they're looking for. And when they've finished, they will give them their card and they'll say, "You're on your own, but you're not alone. You can contact me 24/7." And I think that that is just such an amazing thing to have when you're traveling independently, to have that local guidance and local expertise, but still have that freedom and flexibility to feel like you're traveling on your own, but you still have that little bit of local guidance as well.
And I agree that train travel is a great way, especially throughout Europe, because the train stations are basically in the city centers, so very close to the things that you want to go see and do.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So it's definitely high on my bucket list. I would love to see Ireland and Scotland by rail. I haven't experienced it that way yet. And I definitely think it's a unique take on it.
Okay, well, you did say I think it was over 700 experiences that could be had. So I'm going to pinpoint you down to your favorite itinerary for Scotland and your favorite itinerary for Ireland.
Absolutely. So I have to say, my favorite itinerary for Ireland is our amazing Ireland trip. This is a guided vacation and it's 14 days. And what I love about this trip is that you spend 14 days visiting the entire country of Ireland full circle. You start and end in Dublin, and you'll head up north. You'll visit Belfast, you'll visit the beautiful iconic Giant's Causeway, Londonderry or Derry. Then you'll head west. You'll get to see the Kylemore Abbey. You'll spend some nights in Galway, then heading down into the Cliffs of Moher. We also visit the Ring of Kerry, Killarney in Southern Ireland before we head back up to Dublin. And the reason why I love this itinerary, I know that 14 days sounds like a long time, but what I love about this is that you spend 2 nights in each city. So you really don't feel rushed through your vacation. You're truly getting a little extra time to travel at a more relaxed pace. So you're not being rushed and you still get to see truly everything that this amazing country has to offer. Now, we do have shorter itineraries available for guests that only have a week to spend in Ireland. No doubt you'll definitely want to go back after the first time you visit anyway. But that one I definitely love, and that is my absolute favorite. We do my favorite experience within that amazing Ireland trip is our stay at the Ashford Castle, which is it's actually owned by the Travel Corporation, our Red Carnation Hotels brand. And this is just such an amazing experience. It's 5 star. It's one of the top castles in the world. You arrive by ferry, and there's just so much to do and see and explore on these beautiful grounds. We have a school of falconry. We have a world-class spa. There's just so much to experience. And who doesn't want to wake up in a castle really feeling like royalty, right?
Yeah.
So
Even if you don't think you do, you do.
you definitely do. Everybody needs to.
I agree.
Yes, I would definitely say that's my favorite, and it does match up perfectly back to back with my favorite Scotland trip, which is our best of Scotland. So if you have 3 weeks to travel and you'd like to see the best of Ireland at a relaxed pace as well as Scotland, we have our best of Scotland. That's a great 7 day trip. Really great experience in Scotland as well. So, and we do have a similar itinerary in Scotland by rail as well.
Well, that is amazing. So there you have it, folks. A couple of great suggestions for your trip, either to Scotland or Ireland or both. My name is Rick Saltarelli. I'm with Salty Breeze Cruise Planners, the place where we help create lifelong lasting memories. And I have been speaking with Kelly Stahl from Brendan Vacations. If you are looking for more information, give us a call at 888-332-8202. Thank you. And thank you for being with us today, Kelly.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you so much, Rick.
Thank you.